Fart jokes, poop jokes, and sex jokes have no place in classical music, right? I mean, we can all agree that our dearest Mozart wouldn't have... What was that? Do you mean to tell me that... Hi, welcome to the Listener's Guide. I'm Steve, and one of the things that has always bothered me about classical music is the deification of composers, and all of the greats have had this happen to one extent or another ever since composers even became a thing. And a great example of this is Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. Hard to believe, I know. Now, Mozart was 5 years old when he started performing, and his dad had been taking him on the rounds of various royal courts along with his sister Maria Anna. By the time he was 18 years old, he was a very well-traveled, but not very mature young man with a lot of compositions under his belt. It doesn't exactly take much to think of a modern parallel of his situation. This was also about the time that he fell under the employ of the Archbishop of Salzburg, and he didn't really enjoy that position too much. He didn't want to be writing the kind of music that the Archbishop wanted him to be writing, but there was nothing in his contract that specified the type of music required of him. He had also become acutely aware of the fact that he could make so much more money doing public concerts than working for a patron. In more familiar terms, he wanted to be a sellout. He also just had a general problem with authority, which I'm sure a lot of other 18-year-olds can relate to, and all of this together started coming out in his letters, which are a hoot if you've never read them. For instance, he gleefully recounted the day that his relationship with the Archbishop turned entirely sour and he was dismissed from the position with a kick in the ass. His words, not mine. When he accepted the English composer Thomas Atwood as his student, he definitely showed that he was not very proficient in the English language, but he did know enough to write "you are an" on his composition exercises. His famously difficult aria Come Scoglio from his opera Così fan tutte was written for a soprano that he really did not like that much, and he knew that she craned her head backwards to sing the high notes and tucked it in to sing the low notes, so he threw in many huge leaps to make her, quote, bob her head like a chicken. And that's the tame stuff. His true nature comes out with the letters to and from his family members. For instance, his mother writes, "I bid you good night, shit your bed with a crash." In a letter to his cousin, Mozart writes, "Oh, my burns like fire. What on earth is the meaning of this? Maybe muck wants to come out?" And somewhat more famously, he mocked a priest who decided to start singing around, saying, "I took the third voice, but slipped in an entirely different text. Pater Emilian, o du Schwanz du, leck mich im Arsch." I probably shouldn't translate that one, though it did become a song of its own. So if this is the way Mozart really was, why isn't this more common knowledge? Well, it turns out that the historical revisionism started with his widow rather shortly after his death. She took a lot of his pre-publication music and edited it to be more palatable to the average consumer. On top of that, a lot of the late 19th century propriety seeped into the first translations into English of Mozart's letters, wherein people omitted the parts that they found the most distasteful. And in the meantime, Mozart was already being turned into a deity because of his major accomplishments as a composer. So altogether, he just got sapped of what made him the most relatable thing. But don't worry, modern music historians are working on it. So who's a composer that you really like who suffered a similar fate? Is there anyone I should be delving into next? Do you like this kind of content? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Please do support me on Patreon. I'm working on bringing on some more guests so that I can get some more content out to you and we can get a more diverse crew of people with a more diverse set of ideas. But I need support on Patreon in order to be able to do that. So please do check that out, and thank you to those of you who are helping me out so far. Your contributions make a big difference and I cannot tell you how much I appreciate them. And with that, I'll see you next time on the Listener's Guide.